Greetings everyone, it is September 15th, 2013, and this is my third Batt's Picks. I can't quite believe time has flown by quite that fast, and if I can't believe it, chances are you've missed a few Go games. So let's bring you up to speed of some of the better ones from this week. Now, for me it's been a bit of a bizarre week, and because of that it's influenced my decision on what games just popped out to my attention, maybe a little bit more than usual. So here, in this game, we have a game, believe it or not, by Park Young-hun. Might remember him from my picks from last week, where he completely got manhandled by a young Chinese player. Today he's up against another Chinese player, but this time he's not quite as manhandled. He in fact shows us a very, very fascinating game this time. One in which we have a ton of trades. Really interesting ones too, like this is given up, that's given up. Not really certain how the game is going to progress from there. However, despite the rather unusual opening, it does sort of eventually find its way back into a bit of a more normal game. So if you're looking for a bit of a more normal game, this is probably going to be one of the only ones of my picks this week that will give you what you're looking for. If you're looking for some rather unusual trades, this is definitely what you're looking for. So I hope you enjoy that game. Now, for those of you who enjoy that sort of nail-biting, winner-takes-all, all-in kind of a go, I definitely have a game for you guys. This one here, oh my god, totally fits the bill. You're gonna love it. This features a fight in where it all comes down to the life and death status of this thing everyone's fighting for, right? And whoever misses it, whoever actually screws up, is obviously going to die on an enormously large scale and thus lose the game. So those of you who are interested in that kind of game, oh boy, do I have a game between these two players for you. You're going to absolutely adore it. Even though I should make a disclaimer here and say that this kind of playing style, it probably isn't something that I should be endorsing. It's probably something that usually winds up keeping us a little bit lower than where we would like to be ranked, because when they get away with it, hey, it's great. When we try and do it, we probably wind up back at 15Q wondering why. Nevertheless, very entertaining to see, definitely educational as well, so you should definitely check out this game if you are interested in that sort of, general play style. Which brings us to our third game, and oh my god. I said it's been a bit of a bizarre week for me, and because it was a bit of a bizarre week for me, my choices in games for picks this week kind of reflect that, and nothing just embodies that more than this game, because this game has the exact opposite of everything I would ever pick in one of my lectures. This thing has, as you can see from these two players, who you probably recognize if you're studying Japanese Go, it has the Sanrinsei, it has a Joseki that I'm almost always avoiding teaching my students. It's like, that one, very, very circumstantial, don't go near it. Here you can absolutely see it. And you can also see that we've got an upper left-hand corner that's also not exactly standard. It's, as you can see, it's off star point, right? It's off star point. So, if there's one game that completely embodies everything that I would probably not teach someone, it's this one right here. And because it has just about you have to have Tengen, okay, to get anything more, I don't know, what would you call it? You would have to have Tengen to have a game that is more anti-me. And we're probably not going to be able to see all of that in one game. This one definitely comes close. So if you would like to see the kind of game that I would usually never study and probably never actually review, look at this one. It's between professional 9-dans. Not saying it's bad quality. Not saying it's bad quality at all. It's great quality. They are, top tier players. It's just a style which I don't usually go for. But if you go for it, here's the game. As always, you can find them down below. And last but not least, ending my final pick of this week for a look back at last week. Last week, you may remember our young rising star Chinese player, who is currently a professional Fordon, but he's getting everyone's attention. Can't end this week of Batt's picks without pointing out that he does in fact have another game, in case you, like me, are now following pretty much everything he does. This one, I will warn you, is not the same sort of, look at me, I'm going to kill him by playing the basic things, we're just going to play nice and solid and just completely destroy our opponent, sort of, early Yi Cheng Ho style. This definitely is not that kind of game. This game will make your nose bleed if you're, below a certain rank, so fair warning. If you like this player and you've decided that you're going to follow this player, then this game is probably one of the more complicated that you're going to find. As if to say, I can play that basic style where I overwhelm my opponent, or I can just start punching him in the face repeatedly until he doesn't have any more teeth left and has to be carted away in an ambulance. Two different interesting styles from him back to back in the space of 2 weeks. Interesting to see, very interesting to see. Even if you can't follow along exactly with what is going on here, there's probably still a few things that, you'll find interesting to go over, might learn a thing or two, but again, warning, very, very, very complicated game. And that wraps up Batt's picks for this week. I will, of course, be back next week for yet more games that you may have forgotten to go over, or just for some reason didn't know that they were played during that particular week. I hope you like this series. I hope you are still reviewing these games. I hope you are still playing Go. And as always, I hope you will join me again next week for some more of Batt's Picks.